Much, mother. There are things that mothers just do for us that live on lifelong. And we keep to value them, we keep on valuing them, and that's right to do. We again welcome all of you to the Parrsboro United Baptist Church on this Mother's Day, and we are happy you are with us. And in case you aren't able to see what's at the back, our designers have written, "Have an awesome Mother's Day." And we do pray you certainly do have an awesome Mother's Day. In Isaiah, we did read something about a mother being able to comfort much the same way as God does comfort a people. In some remote country or place, there is a saying, "Mother is supreme." Many of us may sympathize with that, who see things in that particular light. As a dear mother once said to me, no father can quite feel for a child the way a mother does, because it is I, the mother, who carried that child inside me for 9 months. He saw it from outside. He didn't feel it inside him. And so how can he feel for it the way I, who had the child from conception to birth inside me, how can I be bitten at how I feel for my own child? Many a mother among us may actually share this sentiment. There is an unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. And this is certainly birthed at conception, confirmed at birth, and grown in the process of bringing up this child. So ideally, or in the ideal sense of the word, in the best situation or scenario, the relationship doesn't get sour, but rather gets sweeter with a lapse of time. Practically, it may not be quite so, but ideally, that's the way it's supposed to be. Experience certainly does speak that there are some fathers that do have some measure of participation in this mother-child bonding, because it's those fathers who are real fathers who want to experience with their wives everything that they go through in their lives, from the wedding day right to the time that death does them part. And those fathers who therefore are oblivious of their wives' experiences, the ones who mother their children, can't quite enter the realm in which the mother has entered. But it is good if they would share therein. But let's join mothers today in beginning to see, or trying to see, that they're indeed providers of lasting comfort. And let's just say, by comfort we mean that place, that position, that relationship that is homely, that is welcoming, that is warm, that makes you realize you are cared for, you're wanted, you are loved, you'll be protected, you'll be provided for. Mothers are there to provide that. Let's ask ourselves the question then. Is there a way in which mothers can be comforting? Is it true that mothers can really be a comfort? Is it really so? And if it is, in what way are mothers a comfort to their children? Well, in the first place, they're the ones who gave birth. Surely a mother in her right senses who gives birth will not discard that thing which troubled her inside her 9 months. We know how some mothers have said it's been a very difficult pregnancy. There are some mothers that have been that, and some of them have known that pain from conception to birth. But they tendered, they cared, they bore, they endured, because they're looking forward to that first year. And then they'd say, I am a mother. Nothing beats that. So there are mothers after all. But you see, there are mothers who are moved by participation in continuing, keeping creation going. If there are no births and just deaths, there will be no more people left when everybody is gone. Why is the population in Parrsboro going low and low? Because you can see gray hairs that are, by and large, that are no longer able to give birth. But we need these young mothers that will be able to say, hey, more Cleos and Sardis. Oh, sorry, what did I say? You didn't hear that, Justin, did you? All right, we need a few more, and a lot more of these who just give birth, not just little children anyhow, in the proper sense of the word. We need that. And so we have these mothers that actually enjoy knowing they're not just potential carriers of life, they're actually providers of life for children come out of their bosoms. Surely they care for that. And we know she is made proud of her womanhood. Hasn't our Bible told us? And women will be saved through childbearing. I don't know how many mothers are there and say, no, I don't know why I had that child, but I'm not proud to be a mother. There are some who are like that, but there are very few who are like that. By and large, a mother is happy to be able to say, that is my son. She is my daughter. Those are my children. I am a parent. In a sense, mother is proud because, humanly speaking, she is the maker of life. What are we saying? That a mother thrills in conceiving, a mother prides in giving birth, a mother invests in child raising or rearing or breeding, whichever word you are comfortable with, and a mother is a repose in parentage. Right from birth, when she's able to hold that little thing, we don't even call she or he, or we just say it. I'm not sure it will be happy to hear that, but we call it it. She just brings it close to her, and they feel each other's warmth, and she leaps that life, or he leaps that life out of her by sucking on that breast. There is that bond that none of us can describe. How can a mother not be loving and into that child with whom that bond is created over 9 months inside, and depending on how long you are able to keep it on your breast and tending it, it's a lasting bond. And that motherhood never ends. As long as you came out of your mother's womb, as far as she's concerned, you'll always be her child. I'm an old man now, but I'm still a child. When my mother looks at me and says, my child, but I'm a father. You may be a father, but you're still my child. How many of us, some of whom are even older than I am, there are not very many, of course, still also say, when my mother was alive, when my daddy, you still feel, you are a child. There is a beauty about parentage, motherhood, that none of us can take away. The average mother will give her life for her child. And what a comfort to know there are such mothers among us. And may God be pleased to raise more of that sort. Let me ask you, young man, and listen to me, young woman, and listen to me, lady, listen to me, gentleman, or boy, girl, whatever the state you are you in your mother's custody? Are you in your mother's care? Are you being sheltered, protected, provided for, cared for by your mother? Are you ashamed of that? You have nothing to be ashamed of. Where else can you run? I know the story of a very productive man who somehow ended up committing a murder. And in a place where he grew was like in Bible times, where if you committed a murder, you'd run to the next city because you did it accidentally. And when you took refuge there, you'd have to wait until the town in which you had committed a crime was able to say, your period of crime committing is ended, now come back. And one such man found himself running back into the custody of his mother. And he had been so productive that to be under his mother's care again, especially in the West, when you're at 18, get out! Go and fend for yourself. He felt forlorn, wife and children under his mother. But a wise man said to him, son, there is no person who is without trouble. And you know why we say mother is supreme? Wherever you are, whatever you go through, when you come back to her, she will say to you, come, the breast that made you suck at it will not throw you away. I want you not to feel bad, but feel good that it's mother who is caring for you. And be sure of this, she cares. Yes, she does. But to whom does mother's comforting ability owe its credit? Well, the text we read says, as a mother comforts her child, so will I. Who is this I? It's God. And God, according to the book of Isaiah that we read, is supreme. He has a sublime position. No one can equal that. And this God who is supreme is the one who seeks to give service to his people. And in giving service is taking them away from their failure, taking them away from their hurdles, taking them away from their slavery, and bringing them to the place where they are free, provided for, and flourishing in life. So their enjoying life is dependent upon this all-powerful God being able to serve them. And we realize this God provides salvation. That is growing deliverance from pain and anguish and sorrow and agony and sin and evil into that glorious state that is inexpressibly sweet, better felt than it can be spoken about. And he is saying the mother is supposed to picture that. How can she do that when she doesn't have sublime control or sublime positioning or the superiority that God has? Well, here's the thing. God is the source of life. And humanly speaking, isn't human life sourced and supplied in the person called woman, who now becomes mother? Well, we see also that this God is the one who is conserver, the one who conserves, the one who sustains, and the one who supplies for all human. Let's face it. If the mother chose, as we shall see a little later, not to have this child. She'll do what some silly women do. But as for you, your mother sustained you and supplied for you because she fed you and fed you with herself. Because all of us were, in inverted commas, cannibals. We sucked our mother's milk. We did. Or maybe you're like some children whose mothers don't have milk at birth. But we know that at some point, there was just that thing that was thrown out. And you held it and never felt like letting go of it. It's called mother's breast because it provided life right from her into you. Sustaining and supplying and satisfying. So in the human form of the word, she does that. How can she not be a comfort to you at any time, in any place, in all situations? Yes, she's meant to do that. It's an imitation of God. But it's not just that. She also provides security and serenity in life. There is no safer place to be than in the mother who will stand and say, before you touch my child, you should touch me. Before any harm comes to her, I must be harmed. Like this mother whose child is unwell and on the verge of dying, who lifts up her eyes to God and says, Father in heaven, you gave me the ability to bring this child, and I've borne it. And this child has not lived so long as I have. If this child must die, then take my life away and put my life into her. It's better that I die than that she should leave this earth. That's a comforting mother. I would rather go than lose my child. I would rather get hurt than see harm come to her or him. I would rather get wounded and see my own child healed. It's secure to be in the custody, in the company, in the care of such a mother as that. But that's not all. There is that solace and surety of life in a mother like that. God never at any point fails his people. His promise is, I'll always be with you, I'll never fail you, I'll never forsake you. Our mothers can't give that promise because they're not everywhere present and they don't have the ability to live forever. But in a true mother's heart, there is that thing that says inside them, if I could live your life for you, I'll live it. Live it in the way that I know will bring you no harm, no hate, no pain, no agony, no torture, no disturbance, no disruption, no distress, no anguish, no agony. I could take you there. But no, each one of us must live our lives and just be influenced by those who are mothers to us. Even God does not force his way into anyone's life. He appeals so that his love may be the one that touches us. And when it softens us, we yield and then enjoy his blessing. How can a mother go beyond what God gives? No, she can't. And so she's only a big appeal. We either take it or we throw it away. That's what an ideal mother is like. Do you have a mother like that? If your mother is one who has disturbed you, disrupted your life and disturbed you, know that that did not come from God. For the kind of motherhood that God has appointed is one in which they are an imitation of the goodness and gracious nature of God. When that doesn't come through, it's not from God. And we know there are mothers who are as bad as that. Some have aborted. Others have thrown their own children, the fetus, in a ditch, in a pit latrine, or in a dunghill, or something like that, as if it's nothing. Playing down life like that. It's a miserable situation, miserable mothers, pathetic mothers. But here's the positive side on the part of the child, that they are not allowed to come into this world and experience the filth and dirt and mess of this world. So they've gone where they've not gone through the hardships and pains of this world. But the ideal mother has brought forth a child, and he is our gladness, that we've been given experience to see what is bad and run away from it, to see what is evil and trample it down, to see what hurts and turn away from it, to be instruments in this world for the helping of others, begin to find that life is worth the living. We have that privilege. And the God who has given us the mother who has brought us up is He Himself well able to do much more than what our mothers have done, because they are only an imitation of Him. But the question is, we who have appreciated our mothers, we now appreciate the God who has given us these mothers. Or we still want to say, I want to live my life my way. Where a father says, go to your mother. You know what a good mother says? Son, daughter, come to me. Where a father says, go and find means of preserving this child, a mother offers herself as the means. Where a father interests stray from the child, the mother drowns herself in the child's welfare. Where a father seeks personal satisfaction, a mother loses herself in her own child. For those of you that are parents, know that sometimes, even when a child is born and comes into the home, there's a slight struggle. Who do you give attention to, your baby or your husband? These are plain realities of life. And sometimes your husbands are feel like, now, who is number one here? That little thing in your arms or me? What am I saying? It's beautiful to be the mother you've been. And you who are a father, seek to help that woman appreciate and enjoy herself for who she is. And don't be a competitor when it comes to giving her child the attention that the child deserves. But be able to share in our experiences in such a way as to make us feel there is a way in which a balance can be obtained in your relationship, so that that child does not lose out or feel unwanted. I know that some people have taken offense at my saying the number one person in a spouse's life is a spouse. But as I said, it's experiences in life that make us twist what God has put up. Because the first being in importance in our lives is God, and following that is our spouse, then our children and other relationships follow. If that order does not take its shape in your life, there's something grossly wrong. But that's understandable because of the experiences we go through in life. But begin in your experiences now to begin to say, God, the order of things in which you've put them, that's the best, not my way. And may our learning today about that comforting feature that God has given us in a mother point us to this God who is able to comfort us and work through all relationships and make life sweet and worth the living. Well, dear friends, our designers have captured it well. How an awesome Mother's Day. Let's pray.